The pounce is coming, my friends. Yes, with AMC stock, we are up about 10% on the day, heading into earnings over the next 2 days. We have earnings on Thursday. This is a beautiful run up, a beautiful technical breakout, and the data is here to support this continued rally. So let's get straight into this video with this article from Benzinga. What's going on with AMC Entertainment stock today? This article came out less than 1 hour ago. It says AMC is scheduled to report second quarter financial results after the market closes Thursday. The company is expected to report an earnings loss of 19 cents per share on quarterly revenue of $1.16 billion, according to data from Benzinga Pro. At the beginning of July, AMC CEO Adam Aron hinted at crushing short sellers sometime after the company reports second quarter earnings. Aron noted at the time that the retail investing crowd, better known as AMC apes, kept asking him, when pounce? Quote, this is from Adam Aron. Know this, 1, I always keep my word. 2, I've said publicly a pounce would not happen before second quarter 2022 earnings are announced. 3, press release issued today that Q2 earnings to be announced on Thursday, August 4th. Read between those lines, Aron said via a tweet. In other news, IMAX Corp CEO Richard Galfond said the movie theater business is, quote, smoking this week on CNBC's Squawk Box. Galfond noted that business is only down about 5% compared to 2019, which was the company's best year ever, and suggested that the pandemic-related shutdown may be coming to an end. So, if you guys are unaware of what Adam Aron said, this is what kickstarted this whole change in trend, this whole bullish rally that we have seen thus far in AMC stock that I hope you guys have been able to make some money off of. Is this the whole win pounce tweet? Because on the last earnings call, he was asked, when are we going to pounce on shorts? When are you essentially going to crush the short sellers? And that's what he said, that tweet. So just inferring here, obviously I don't know, but let's infer that if Adam Aron is saying this, that there's probably something that is more noteworthy than just good earnings that will be announced. I'm sure we're going to get rock solid earnings. I'm sure we're going to get a new stake in a new company. I think that is going to happen. I think that's almost guaranteed. I don't know if that's priced into the stock. I highly doubt it is, especially if it's something that could change the fundamental business of AMC. Think about, and this is kind of a bad comparison, but it's the best comparison. Berkshire Hathaway. Well, they don't really own anything. Well, they do own things. hard to explain, so bear with me. They're a holdings company. They acquire stakes in companies, they buy out companies. Now, AMC's kind of trying to be a hybrid between a movie theater business and start to acquire these stakes in other companies, and those stakes are reported in earnings. So, for an example, with their Hycroft Mining stake that they made, if that made money or lost money, they're going to have to report that as a loss or that they made money. So if you start to get these really good acquisitions, especially in the worst stock market that we have seen in 50 years, if AMC was actively out there buying stakes in companies, well, I think that's going to be a very bullish thing. But on the last earnings call, Adam Aron said something about cash dividend, a NFT dividend, or even a gift card kind of reward, something that would actually squeeze out the shorts, that would do something along the same lines as what GameStop's doing. And you could see all the synthetic shares. That situation is a real shit show, just not enough shares outstanding. And brokerages even having to just buy shares for people because there's just not enough shares out there. So I think you're going to get something along those lines that will really help to squeeze out the shorts of AMC. Now, from now until then, the things that will really move the markets, and I will include AMC in this, is going to be economic data as well as Fed speakers. So for tomorrow, all you really have is ISM non-manufacturing PMI for July. That comes out at 10 o'clock in the morning. We don't have any other Fed speakers or anything like that. Now, on Thursday, the day AMC reports earnings, obviously they report earnings in after hours. You don't have too much in the beginning of the day. You really don't have too much at all. You do have initial jobless claims. You do have jobless claims for the 4-week average, continuing jobless claims, and the balance of trade, which will be important for this whole recession situation and to see, what is going on with that. So I think balance of trade will be important, aka the trade deficit, and also Fed Mester does speak at 12 p.m. And what we've gotten out of Fed speakers today is that they're pretty much all on board with a 50 to 75 basis point rate hike, but still, they want to watch the data to see how inflation is going. They're all unanimously saying they are nowhere close to done raising rates, but there's a lag in monetary policy. So when the Fed raises rates 75 basis points at the last meeting, you're not even feeling that yet. You don't even know what the consequence of that is going to be until about 3 months down the line. So they do want to slow down a little bit, but they're nowhere near done or close to done raising rates. And you're also seeing that in the yield curve inversion, which is inverted about 33 basis points at the time of recording this video, which is a big problem. And that's why you're seeing growth outperform with such a high margin today, even when the stock market has went negative, because when there's not growth in the economy, well, people will pay more for growth, because if you're a growth investor, if you're investing for the future, well, you need to invest in growth. So there is all of that, and that's probably the biggest reason why AMC stock is up 9%, just because what they've been doing with the business. They're definitely growing. Their year-over-year revenue numbers are going to be insane. They're probably going to post pretty close to a profit and a negative 19-cent loss for this quarter. That could turn positive very, very easily. So there is that. Tuesday, so today in after hours, you have AMD, PayPal, Oxy, SoFi, Airbnb, Starbucks that report earnings. These are going to be the big 6 right here, and depending on what happens with these companies, especially AMD, well, that's going to move the markets around. That will give us a potentially a change in sentiment if these earnings are bad, or it could also be a very good thing because these stocks are beaten into the ground. So I think there's a real potential here to see a big move one direction or the other. Now, more specifically to the Fed funds futures, you guys can see there's still only a 19% chance of a 75 basis point rate hike. That is up about 5% or 6% here on the day, going from 13% now to 19%. Still, an overwhelmingly high majority of market participants are expecting a 50 basis point rate hike, about 81% of investors. Now, specifically with AMC stock, if we go ahead and look at the option activity for this Friday, about 42,000 calls that are in the money and about 78,000 calls that are out of the money, and about 2,600 puts that are in the money, 34,000 puts that are out of the money. So there definitely is some dry powder to give us a bit of a rally here if we do have good earnings, if the markets just continue to reward AMC stock. But it's not a huge options week, just call it that, in options expiration. But if you get positive earnings and you get something to really crush out the shorts, well, you're probably going to see a lot of FOMO. You're probably going to see people heading back into the stock. And today's rally is not a FOMO rally. It's purely a earnings rally, a pre-earnings rally. Now, as far as the estimated short interest of free float, that is sitting at 19.55%. Free float out on loan, 27.89%. Shares out on loan, 143.75 million. Days to cover, 3.45. Cost to borrow, 9.68. And 100% share utilization. As far as the cost to borrow, it really hasn't moved around all too much. Cost to borrow max sitting at 10.7%. Cost to borrow average at 9.55%. And cost to borrow minimum at 8.59%. As far as the option activity, looking at 23 orders totaling $2.13 million, positive order value of 96%. So the overwhelmingly high majority of investors are placing bullish bets on AMC stock. A lot of activity around the $13 calls for August 5th and August 12th. So those are the ones that I really want to watch. A lot of these break evens are around the high $16 to $17 level. So keep all of that in mind. As far as the actual technicals on AMC, we went over this in the last video, so we're not going to too much in depth, but you are seeing a beautiful retracement back to where we were. I mean, you broke above the 100-day moving average. It was clean. You found resistance at 15 for 4 days, and then yesterday you broke out above 15, could not break out above the 100-day moving average, and then today you gapped up above that 100-day moving average. So I think you might be seeing a lot of algorithmic trading as well today. You are seeing low volume, only about 36 million shares that have traded hands here today. So it's not a high volume day, but you're up 10%. That would suggest to me that this is probably a trading algorithmic kind of rally, or just people that are buying the stock. It's not FOMO. Volume does not reflect that. It's not shorts covering. Volume also does not reflect that. Now the RSI is at 61.80, so you know, above that neutral level of 50, but not getting too extreme. And then the MACD is now bullish for the day, which we were bullish for a while, went bearish, and now we are bullish yet again. So that is going to be all for this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not already. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.